Much of the southeast under a severe weather threat for today, and even here in South Carolina, there has already been a severe weather threat issued. A slight risk for those that are near the upstate, parts of the Midlands, Saluda, Aiken, as well as Edgefield are also a part of this slight risk. As you head towards the east, a marginal risk for today. However, tomorrow, that entire story is going to change. The entire state of South Carolina is going to be under a severe weather threat, more of a slight risk for those that are going to be in the Midlands. However, that clears out as we're going to be headed into Monday. Specifically, areas like Richland County, Lexington, parts of Aiken, Calhoun, Kershaw, Fairfield, marginal risk for today. We'll be breaking down what that is going to mean. That means it's going to be very short-lived, a lower risk that you're going to be seeing. However, areas Saluda, Newberry, and the other part of Aiken, as you can see, under a slight risk. That means some enhanced activity. Tomorrow, all of the Midlands, slight risk for severe weather. We're talking about some strong winds that's going to be in the forecast, even some possible intense thunderstorms. Now, what you need to know about this timing, this event is expected to last from the early morning tomorrow, 6 a.m. up until 2 p.m. Wind gusts are expected to exceed 50 miles per hour, and those damaging wind gusts can blow away your outdoor furniture, causing some power outages and definitely challenging road conditions as you're going to be headed out into church. Let's take a look at where this storm has already developed. It's already some tornadic activity in Mississippi right now as we're speaking, and even some lightning strikes that I'm seeing, some thunderstorm activity, and trying to see exactly where that is. However, this storm has already been starting to build, moving rapidly, and going to be headed toward the east. Throughout the day, as this is going to be happening, we're going to be seeing cloud cover increasing throughout today. This storm is very strong as of right now, and it's expected to enter South Carolina by 1 a.m. The risk that we're going to be expecting to see throughout today, some stray showers could be possible throughout this evening. However, once that storm is going to enter into the state, we'll start to see winds that are going to be picking up. By 5:15, as it's going to be headed towards our western parts of the Midlands, we start to see more of a moderate risk for some damaging winds. Like I said, behind this strong line of storms is going to be some severe weather activity. We're talking about floods because there is going to be lots of rainfall. Like I said, take some extra time as that's going to be starting to head towards the east. Some tornado formation is going to be possible. Another threat that we're seeing with this storm is going to be large hail. And that is going to cause you to, for sure, make sure you take some extra precautions. As the evening is going to be progressing, though, it's going to be moving out of the area, making for some dry conditions. Severe weather outlook, as far as what you need to know, what's the concerns. A marginal risk when it comes to winds. So that means that it's going to be gusty enough to blow away those outdoor furniture items, and even making it for some challenging road conditions as you're going to be headed out. The hail size that we've been talking about, hail, possible quarter size hail as you're going to be making your way throughout, and we continue to see a marginal risk like we talked about before. That's going to be, as it's going to be progressing towards the east, we start to see more of a risk for tornadic activity as we head into tomorrow. For today, excessive rainfall outlook already showing that some possible, as this storm is going to be moving towards the east, it's going to be having some rainfall coming to the upstate for today. That increases for all of us, the rest of us that's not specifically in the upstate, as we head into tomorrow. Winds today, winds are expected to pick up at around 2 p.m. and those sustained winds are going to be increasing even up until tonight. Once that storm moves into the Midlands area specifically, it's going to be bring some gusty winds with it. We already talked about what those things look like. That looks like that it's going to make for a challenging ride as you're going to be headed out, blowing you away as you're going to be walking. So definitely Make sure you stand your ground tomorrow and blowing things. You may see some power outages, some downed trees, and those sustained winds are going to be continuing before finally subsiding slightly as the storm is going to be moving towards the east. But like I said, when the storm is moving through this strong line of thunderstorm activity, it's going to be picking up winds behind it, expecting those to subside by tomorrow evening. I know a huge concern is going to be tornadoes. We don't see that specifically for the area today. However, as we head into tomorrow for a possible risk of tornadic activity, it remains low. I will assure you that it does remain low. However, as we head into the evening, there's much more of a widespread concern of a low risk still for tornadic activity. Take a look at this map, though, where we'll be talking about possibly how this even extends into North Carolina. Like I said, once the storm starts to move towards the east, towards the coast, it becomes a bigger issue. Winds are going to be a heavy thing with this storm that we're talking about. What we'll need you to do, the timing from this is going to be Sunday morning through early afternoon. Damaging winds and even possible flooding. Have your sump pumps going as it's going to be raining tomorrow. Make sure stay alert with your phones. You need to have multiple ways to get warnings as we're going to be keeping you updated through this. Rainfall forecast saying that possibly even here in Columbia specifically less than an inch, but our other areas exceed that. Even some areas talking about 2.5 inches, like Sumter towards the east. Like I said, it's going to be heavy rainfall there specifically for tomorrow as it goes towards the coast off the water. Those conditions are expected to slow down. The impact for you tomorrow, damaging wind gusts. That's a huge thing with this storm. Is going to be the wind gusts that we're going to be expecting and some possible flooding. It's going to make way for a very dangerous day as you're going to be headed out tomorrow along with hail. So just imagine you're outside, it's raining, and then you're just getting hail thrashed at you. That's going to hurt. So what you want to do is try to stay inside for this storm tomorrow. And if you have to head out, have multiple ways that you can get alerted about this.